Hi shorties, Mama Shorty here. Thank you for watching. First and foremost, if you do not know me, have not seen me before, I go by the Talented Shorty. My real name is Passion. Thank you guys for watching. So, excuse me. If you haven't seen my last video, I explained where I've been and what are my goals for this YouTube channel. So, and I said that my next video will possibly be, how I found out about my baby girl and, how am I feeling now? Just all the stuff, okay? Just all the stuff. So let me start by how I found out. So, for about a week, because I moved out of my hometown in August, and then in October I started feeling weird, and I didn't understand. I was telling my significant other something's off, I don't feel right, something not right, my body is not right. And I was I don't know what it could be. And I'm I don't got COVID, because I had COVID before. So I know exactly what that feels like. So it wasn't COVID. I just felt off. I was I don't feel sick. I just feel off. Something's off. My boobs were hurting. I had my last period, I believe it was in August. And my period's so irregular. So I didn't think nothing about it, especially since at one point in time I was on birth control for 5.5 years straight, right after I had my 7-year-old. So it was or 6 years, I should say, because right in the same month that I was supposed to get it took out, I had got it took out a week early, because it was just causing a lot of stuff with me, depression and all that good stuff. So I got off birth control about a year ago in 2021. 2020. Right? Yeah, 2020 I got off birth control. So my periods have been all out of whack. You feel what I'm saying? People that been on birth control know what I'm talking about. So I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just something off. I don't know what's going on with me. You know what I mean? And it was I wasn't nauseous, but my body, stuff just felt weird. So I'm at work, and I'm on my break, because you get a 30-minute break. On my break, I'm gonna go to this Family Dollar. That's right across the street. I'm gonna get some pregnancy test, and I'm gonna take it at work. Remind you, my break is in the smack dab middle of the afternoon. They tell you get the most accurate results in the morning. So I take a pregnancy test on my break at work. I didn't even eat lunch type, because I'm I know something and then the thing is, y'all, not one time, don't mind the fan in the back, I'm pregnant, I need circulation, but not one time did I think pregnancy, you feel what I'm saying, was the reason why I felt weird. I just thought, maybe I need to go to the doctor, get myself right, figure out what's going on. No, I took the pregnancy test, I didn't read it, and I was I don't believe I'm pregnant. I'm trying to just rule out everything, right? Because I'm I know I don't got COVID. Let me just rule out everything. So I take the pregnancy test. I go to a girl that worked at the job I had at the time, and I tell her to read it. She reads it. Her exact words is, "Bitch." Sorry, YouTube. You could demonetize me, I guess. I expect it to be grown people watching. But she was "Bitch, you're pregnant." And I was what you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? No, I can't be pregnant. It wasn't I knew I just couldn't be. It was just a culture shock. It was a what? I'm pregnant. And it was and I don't feel me being pregnant was a mistake at all. It just, for me, it was wrong timing. Because I said, I moved in August. So August, September, October. You know what I'm saying? So I find out I'm pregnant in October, literally right after moving. So it was like, what are you talking about, right? So I took the test like middle afternoon. So yo, and it was blue. When I tell you that cross was a blue, that cross was blue. Like, so I said, give it to me. So I'm like, look at it, and I'm like, oh my God. She's like, you're pregnant. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you know, like for real, like for real zoning, like what in the heck am I going to do, right? So, and it's kind of like, girl, do the same thing you did with the first baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? So it was just like a culture shock. So I go to like my work mom. She's amazing. I love her, still love her. She's like dope. Like, she's like not my mom, but she was old enough to be my mom, and like I confided to her a lot about a lot of different stuff. So I talked to her and I'm like, I said, could you please look at this? She looks at it and she's like, you're pregnant. I knew it. When you came to work and you told me about your boobs hurting and you said that you've been feeling weird. And I was like, yeah, but what the heck? Like, so I'm like, literally, I'm like shaking. I like start to cry because I'm like, what in the heck is happening? So then I go home. I tried to record it, but my boyfriend ruined it because he just, I don't know why, he just in tune with life, but he just is. So as soon as I walked in the door, I was just like, because I always joked with him, and I was like, if we ever get pregnant, I'm going to just come to you with a marriage license and tell you to sign it, because I'm not about to be, you know what I'm saying, a single mom again, right? So I print off this little fake marriage certificate, and I like give it to him. And I'm like, I got something to tell you. He said, what, you pregnant? And I'm like, dang, like you done messed up the whole video. Done messed up me catching your reaction, everything. Like, I guess, like, yeah, I'm pregnant, right? So then I'm like such a be sure person that I took another test in the morning, because like I said, I took the first one like late afternoon. I took the other test in the morning and it came back positive. And I was like, oh, okay. So from there, you know, I didn't tell anybody because I was nowhere near 12 weeks yet. Like, I was early in the pregnancy. And if you've ever been pregnant before, know somebody that's pregnant, you know, usually they don't really, you know, tell you to tell people that you're pregnant until you're 12 weeks, because that means that you're out the danger zone of a miscarriage. So I didn't tell anybody, and a lot of things happened within that same week. Like, you know, family drama, everything happened. So, and it could have led me to have a miscarriage, but it didn't, thank God, you know, because that's how stressed out I was for like a whole 2 weeks straight over some dumb stuff. But that's neither here or there. So then I go to my first appointment, and they like, so when was your last menstrual cycle? So when I told them, they like, okay, so based off your last menstrual cycle, your due date is in May, right, of 2022. So I'm like, okay. So then I kept on, you know, trying to make sure that that was my exact due date. Coming to find out, that's my exact due date. It's like May 2022. So I'm like, oh wow, like this is real. I'm having a baby, right? So I'm like, okay, well, we all know, if you know me personally, you know that I didn't want another kid. Like, I just did not, especially not being married. And also because I had a C-section with my first daughter. So by default, I need to have a C-section with this one because of the way that they cut my uterus with the first baby, and I wasn't able for a VBAC, all the science, whatever. So I'm like, what the heck? So boom, now here we go, right? We on the road of pregnancy. So they like, you know, all the doctors like, oh, you're high risk, you know, you got to go to 2 different doctor's appointments every week and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, how am I gonna have a job going to 2 different doctor's appointments every week? Like, every week? That's impossible. Like, because whenever the appointment is available, I gotta go because of the level of high risk I am, right? So eventually I had to resign from my job. Then I get told, okay, now you're on restrictions, you can't lift over 20 pounds. So then I had to quit another job because I was like, oh my goodness, because I had got like this temporary job or whatever, where it was only like for 6 weeks or something like that. And I'm like, okay, I could do this, whatever. But the job required me to lift way over 20 pounds. So that I got on that, and now they were like, oh, you gotta leave that. So I'm like, oh my God. So I had to get a cerclage placed in February. I was in the hospital for that. That was scary because I never got an epidural before. With my first daughter, it was emergency C-section where I got completely put to sleep. So this is my first time getting an epidural, first time at the hospital completely by myself. And it was just really scary, and it was just a lot going on, like cars breaking down. It was like when it rained it pours, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a lot. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like, why is all this happening, right? So then, you know, stuff started picking up, stuff started going a little smooth, blah 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 blah. So I'm like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. So now here we are. I got my scheduled C-section in May in 2022. Not gonna tell y'all when, but it's in May of this year, and now it's March, like the last day. No, it'll be April when I post this, so it'll be April 1st when I post it. So like literally, your nigga, your homegirl, your home skillet biscuit got like 30 some days, like, to have a C-section. Crazy. So let me tell y'all about how I feel about this, okay? How I feel about this C-section stuff, okay? Full disclaimer, my opinion, my feelings, don't take it personal. It's not a personal attack on you, okay? I just feel like that's the full disclaimer, okay? So don't get your bennies and all that in a bunch. But I feel like women that have had C-sections and get them more than twice, because sometimes, you know, stuff just happens and you just gotta get it twice. But if you get it more than twice, a C-section, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times with each and every kid, you're a psycho. You're a psycho. You're crazy. Because who in their right mind got with their marbles intact, go let somebody keep cutting on them. Not me. No, you're not about to keep cutting on me. I'm sorry. This is the last cut for a baby, okay? Don't get me wrong, I'm very blessed, very grateful, very happy about the baby that's coming, but this the last cut, fam. This the last cut. Like, no, we are not doing this more than one. No, we're not doing this right now with the scheduled C-section. I am freaking out, not gonna lie to y'all. I'm scared, I'm freaking out, I'm like anxious all the time, anxiety through the roof, and the reason why is because I can't believe I'm about to really hop in a car early in the morning to go to the hospital purposely to let somebody cut on my body. Like, think, just let that simmer. You about to purposely get in the car on a particular day early in the morning to let somebody, a complete stranger, you don't know them from a can of paint, cut on your body. That's like having a stranger in the street cut on your body. Like, no, I'm about to defend myself. Why is you trying to cut me? But this is how I gotta have my daughter, the safest way. And I trust the doctors. I believe in the doctors. I trust in God. I believe in God. So it's just hard to wrap your mind around, you know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. But yeah, so if y'all want a video on like what I got in my hospital bag, I'm gonna make the video anyway. So even if you don't want it, it's coming because I want to. And yeah, being pregnant this time has been very eventful. One, because I've never been pregnant this long. With my first daughter, I had her extremely early. She was extremely premature. This time, this is the longest pregnancy I've ever had, and I have been stressed, emotional, happy, sad, up, down, confused. Like, I've been everything. So yeah, that's the real on this whole pregnancy, like from how I found out to right now. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more content, probably not just like this, but something like this, or a little bit different than this, because it's gonna be makeup, hair, and all that good stuff involved, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join the shorty gang because we lit over here. I love you guys. Peace.